everyone, this is Douglas E. Welch and welcome back to another episode of In the Garden for A Gardener's Notebook. Well, finally, you may have seen me plant what I call the garden bed in a bag a few weeks ago, and we're finally starting to see some growth here. Here you can see, I'm not sure, there were columbine and there were wachera and one other type of plant in that bag that I don't remember off the top of my head, but you can see that they're finally starting to sprout up here after we've watered them nicely in. Down here in front, we'll see if I can find that. And here's one of the columbines here growing in the front part of this bed. I basically planted in three kind of loose rows across this bed, and it's good to see that some action is finally happening here. I was beginning to wonder just a little bit that perhaps things weren't going to take, but they are coming on now. Now you just may be able to see here we're in the middle of a bit of a pruning project. I just saw one limb I wanted to take out the other day, and sure enough I found a few others, so that's that pile there. Now what you can see is in the middle of that pile, and also over here behind the swing, and down here along the path, and in the path itself are our leaves. Most people would be nice and collect up their leaf mold in one nice little spot, perhaps like that little pile over there. But eventually this weekend, all of this is going to go into that behemoth over there. That is our Troy-built gas-powered chipper shredder, and it is a monster, boy. It does a really great job. It basically reduces down the leaf mold and limbs from about the 10-to-1 ratio, it says. So 10 bushels of leaves would be 1 bushel of leaf mulch coming out the end. So what we're going to do is we're going to mulch up all these leaves, which we should have done a long time ago. We tend to get a lot of leaf drop here because of all the trees that you always see in the videos here, and so it makes for a bit of work here in the garden to collect up all these leaves. Some of it's going to go in the compost bins that you see there. Some of it's going to go into a leaf mold pile, and a lot of it we found is very effective for mulching garden beds. It really does a great job of weed suppression, I should say, and it looks nice. It has a nice mulch-like effect, and so it'll probably end up back on the garden bed, just in a more form that'll break down a little more carefully. Now this bed is where the aucubas had been planted. We had the 2 aucubas we picked up at the nursery here. Unfortunately, both of them have failed. From my reading, it looks like there's a fungus in some soils that just naturally occurs that they do not like at all. They very quickly turned black on their leaves and basically died back very, very quickly. Now, what I have done is to kind of fill the space in. There was a Raphiolepis plant that was quite well established in the front yard, just a natural self-sowing seedling, and I actually pulled it out of the front yard and plopped it down into the same area to see if perhaps we can get a little bit of green coming back into this area. Now you'll notice the limb here in front. We use limbs for our bed edging, and this is actually a limb from that pile you saw just a moment ago. We take the straight ones that we can and we lay them right out as garden edging in the bed, and great way to reuse stuff, perhaps if you didn't want to chip it up in the chipper shredder. In fact, this limb is probably a little large to go into our chipper shredder, so it wouldn't have fit anyway. And to close out today, here are the Gabura daisies that I planted. These were from a friend's memorial service of all things, and his wife brought them by after the services and said, "Is there anything you can do with these?" And we said, "Sure, we'll put them in our garden." And sure enough, they are actually blooming here in this patio side bed. And that's a nice little reminder of someone, and also a nice way to put plants to use in your garden. I don't know how perennial these are going to be. Here in California, things tend to be more perennial than you would expect, but we'll see how they do, and if nothing else, we'll enjoy them for the time that they're here. Until next time, this has been Douglas E. Welch. This is In the Garden for A Gardener's Notebook. Over the next several weeks, we're going to be traveling back to our home state of Ohio, and I hope to have some interesting garden footage for you there. Sorry it's been a little long between videos, but I had a couple big video projects that have come up, and I haven't had time to work on my own blogs and podcasts, but I did want to show you the garden today here on June 22nd and share with you what's happening here. Until next time, keep digging.